Hello, I'm Christina with The Turned Leg, and today's video is not the usual. This is something very special. I'm hosting a paint party with my special guest, my mom, Ann Korinek. My mom is an amazing artist, and so I talked her into coming on and showing you guys how to paint canvas art. Now, if you've ever wondered like, maybe I should try it, I think it would be fun. This is the perfect opportunity for you. Grab your paintbrushes. This is easy, I promise, and it'll be a lot of fun too. This video, though, keep in mind, was recorded from 3 segments from a Facebook Live. So I've gone through, I've edited out all of the extra stuff, and all you have here is a great paint tutorial. If you like this video, please take a second to click the like button and subscribe to my channel. Also click the bell for notifications every time I upload a new video. Let's get out those paintbrushes and get painting. And today we have a treat. Mom is joining Ann Korinek for a paint party, and she is gonna show you guys how to paint this barn using all DIY paint.
First thing we want to talk about is how you prepped. If you haven't prepped already, or if you didn't see the prep video, this is what you do. I have an 8x10 canvas, and I painted it entirely. Let me take this off for a minute. I painted it entirely with the turquoise, which is actually, what's the name of this?
Old 57.
Old 57. So it's totally painted with Old 57. Even the sides and the top and the bottom. That's really important. You should have downloaded the printout that we have.
You can get this on my website, shoptheturnedleg.com. This will give you your outline and directions for setup.
You're going to get the printout, you're going to cut out the barn. You're going to cut out even the windows in the barn, like this. And then you're going to make some circular tapes and put them on the back so that they aren't in the way when you're trying to trace. You're going to put this on your piece about 1 inch from the top, and you're going to trace around it. And then you'll have this.
I'm calling you guys out. Grab your paintbrushes, paint along with us, give it a try. It's only paint, even if you think you can't do it. I am not a canvas artist, Mom is, so hopefully this inspires you just to give it a try. We're going to try to make it as easy as possible. Here are the DIY paint colors that we will be using. Hey Sailor, which is a great navy, Kissing Booth, Liquid Sunshine, Water Lily, Little Black Dress, White Swan, Layered Chocolate, and Salty Kiss.
Right, and you can put those on your paper plate or whatever you're using as a palette right now, because those are the colors we're just doing the barn right now, and that's the reason we have those colors out. The other thing I would suggest is that you have paper towel handy and water, because you're going to need to dip things. And then I always fold my paper towel in 4s. I get 2 sheets, and I fold them together and then fold them over again. And that way I have something that I can just see this way and then this way. And that way I have something that I can just pat my brush on if I get too much water or too much paint on it. Okay, the brushes you're going to need at least 1 brush, and I kind of like the chisel brush. That's this one, where it goes on an angle. But if you don't have it, you can also use this kind of a brush, no bigger than this in width, because what you're going to do is use the tip of it to just dip it in the paint and then paint the boards, okay? And the other thing you'll need eventually is if you have this is a better one, if you have a good little liner of some sort, okay? This one is a 0. This is a 1/2 inch brush, so no bigger than the 1/2 inch brush. And this is also a 1/2 inch, my canvas. And the first thing you're going to do is measure down. This is going to be your top line. So let's get into the, let's see here. Let me get my liner. I've got my liner. I'm just going to make sure it's clean. You might want to dip it in the water a little bit. And I'm just going to take the blue, the Hey Sailor, and I'm going to sketch a little line across the top here. Okay, sketch a little line across the top here.
So at the top of that window, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We got this, guys.
And then you come down about a finger width. And you're going to put your second line there, about the middle of this window, basically. So you have the top line, and you have the next line. Okay. And then you're going to make a line across the bottom, and it's going to be a wider line right here between the second window and the bottom window. If you need water on your brush to make things go smoothly, and you find it's dragging, dip your brush in the water and put the water on your palette just here a little bit and swirl it around, because a lot of times you can just use this and it will give you a really nice smooth line. See that? Look.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So I'm going to go back up and just make these a little smoother. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go up and do the roof. I need a little water. You're going to probably put a little water, like I said, put a little water on your palette and pull the color into that water. And then you're going to start and you're going to go, well, you can go from the top down or bottom up. I'm going from the bottom up.
And it's just the edge of the roof?
Yep.
So we're using DIY paints from Debbie's Design Diary. They are all natural. What's really great about them too is they're heavily pigmented. So adding water is not a problem. To purchase any of the products that we're using here today, you can visit my online store at shoptheturnedleg.com, or you can visit my booth at Plaza Antiques and Collectibles Mall in Lincoln Park, Michigan.
Now, if you do like I did, where you get a little bit of the color here outside of the color, later on you can just go touch that up. That's not a big deal. All right. So those are that's the basic structure of the barn, and you've got it set up there. And you're going to want to make sure that on this side, this little thing that sticks out is completely covered with it. There we go. Now, with the same blue, we're going to take with a little bit of water and a little bit of this, and we're going to start in this section. This is the second section right here.
Are we changing brushes?
Nope. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you can. Let's
Go to a little bigger. This is the one I'm using. It has a little slant on it, but I don't know. Remember we said brushes are particular.
I've got the chisel brush. You're going to want to go to your 1/2 inch now. So here's my paper plate. Here's my brush. It has the blue on it. Okay? You're going to take it. I touched the very end of the blue. Let me show you here. In the paint like this with a little water there. Okay? And if it's too soupy or too much water, you're going to want to tap your brush on your paper towel. And then I'm going to take it like this. Let me get closer. Straight on. And I'm just going to pull down. And that's going to create, and see, it's a little drippy at the bottom. So you may want to pat it before you go up there. But there. You can get a little piece of paper towel and just keep it handy in case it starts to drip. And that's how you're going to create the barn.
The siding.
Yeah, the siding on the barn.
Yeah. We're making boards.
Boards, that's what I wanted to think of.
Tip up.
Okay, so I'm going to do it here. I'm going to do it pretty much all the way across this section here.
Okay.
So I'm just coming down. And you can leave some of the turquoise in the back. That's fine. There. That'll give you an idea of what I did.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh. We go all the way across?
Yeah, I would probably put a little more, that's good. I would put a little more blue on than turquoise. If, try to put them pretty close to each other so they kind of touch. There. Okay. But if you run out of paint at the bottom like I did, that's fine. Or if you run out of paint at the top like I did, that's fine. Because what you want is to have some gradation in color.
Because we're adding layers. So you're going to get it like this. We're going to put other colors over it.
All right, then we're going to move down to the next layer.
Same thing, right? Water.
A little bit if you need it, or just pull your...
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Okay, and down at the bottom here, this bottom half, What we're going to do is we're going to just do a couple from the bottom here. One, maybe another one here, maybe another one here. We aren't going to do them all, and then we're going to skip across and do a few here. Maybe one there. Let me pull it down. Pull one down here. Big board right down here in the blue, and a big board right down here in the blue on either side.
Uh-oh, I'm dripping. What?
You should have a little piece of paper towel so you can catch it.
Yeah, and if you start dripping, like I got some. We're good. I'm going to paint over it.
It won't matter if it drips into the bottom part because you're going to be putting paint on that anyway. Then I'm going to take the blue again. And now we're doing the bottom part. And I'm going to do this here.
We're doing the doorway like?
That side of the door, not both sides of the door. We're trying to give it a little variety. Okay, and I'm going to do a little here, right next to it. And a little here. You can make them different lengths. It doesn't matter. Kind of fill in the bottom a little bit. And then I'm going to put one here. And then on this side, I'm going to just kind of put a little here. So this is what I have so far. And the final thing we're going to do is take and put 3 little lines right here, each longer than the other. Up across this part right here where it goes, right here where it goes across. Okay? Cool. Okay. All right. We're almost done with the blue. Now I'm going to take the blue and I'm going to mix it. Let me show you here. I'm going to mix it. I'm going to take a little of this red out.
It's kissing
and
booth.
A little blue.
Hey, sailor.
And I'm going to get it to a purple that I like. So I'm going to pull a little more red in. I want that's kind of a purple that I like. Okay?
Usually it's 2 parts kissing booth with 1 part hey sailor to get a good purple, by the way, guys.
Thank you. So mix it up until you get it the way you want it, and we're going to go up to the very top now, and we're going to start painting that in.
Same thing, huh?
Yep, same thing. This is the whole thing. Hard, huh?
We got this.
There you go.
I need to reconstitute my brush. There we go.
Okay, so we're just going to paint across the top. You can leave a little turquoise. The turquoise is fine. It's not going to make any difference. Remember, this is an old barn. It's falling apart. Okay.
The whole top?
Yeah, the whole top.
I gotta catch up.
Try not to be real precise with your lines. They should have a little bit of, irregularity to them. It's an old barn. So that's why I said the wide brush, this size brush is good for this. And then the same thing here. We're going to come down over here on this side and just put maybe a little of this. We want to repeat the color here and there. So right there I repeated it.
Okay.
And I'm going to repeat it right here. And you can kind of fade out as you get near the bottom. That's perfectly fine. And then here I'm going to put a little bit of it too. So I did it 3 places. I did it on this side here, right here, and down here. So we have it repeating through the barn. You just don't want it to stop. It's a good color, right?
Purple's awesome.
And if you get carried away and you really want this to be
more purple,
more of another color or more colors, that's fine. Okay, now we're going to go to the red kissing booth. You're going to need a little water with this on your thing, but keep it so it's not real drippy. You don't want it real drippy. So put a little water. Yeah, wash off your brush. You want to get all the purple out. And you can test that by just on your towel. You can kind of go back and forth and see if all the purple's out. Keep dipping in the water and swirling it and see if the purple's out. Okay, now I'm going to put the red in. And I'm putting this red up here. Oh, that's kind of thick. I want it more of a pinky red.
Oh, I've added some texture.
So I'm going to put a little more water in mine because I like it more of a pinky red. But then I'm going to dab it a lot so I get a lot of the color out. And I want it right here.
So it's more of a watercolor we're looking for?
Yeah, more of a watercolor.
I need more water.
And here.
So just add some water on your palette.
Yep. Okay, so that's what I have. I put it there, there, and there. We put one here, and it can go right into your blue. Put one here, and maybe one here. Okay, so on the top of those 3 blues that we had here, I put a little bit of red. Didn't go all the way up to the top because up at the top I may put a light blue. Who knows, okay? And then down here I want a real vibrant red, so I'm going to put a real vibrant red right here.
Guys, if you can paint lines, even if they're wobbly, you can do this.
Yeah, and then I'm going to put a little red here, and a little red maybe here. So that's what I did here. I put them on those sides, okay?
Got it.
All right. And then over on this side, we're going to put it sideways. This is new. We're taking our brush sideways, and we're just going to pull it down from the top. And pull it down from the top. Just a little bit. And pull it down from the top like that. And if you like that, you can do that other places too. It's entirely up to you.
I need a different brush.
Okay. You want one of mine?
Nope, I got it.
Okay, and I'm going to put a little red. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to do it with my liner. Okay. Next color. Woohoo! Clean your palette really, 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 really.
Clean your
brush really good. Sorry. We're going to go for the light blue, which is the water lily. And this one you can put on fairly heavy at this point because it's not going to matter. And you can put it there. You can swipe it up from the bottom here. I actually think this was probably more of an orangey red.
Carnival?
Yeah, I think so.
Instead of Kissing Booth?
Or the red.
Marquee? So instead of Kissing Booth, we're having a chat. You could have some sort of Carnival or Marquee if you have DIY paint and you don't have Kissing Booth. That might be an option. Do we want this real watery or?
No, you can just put it on. And you can put it on. Here you're going to, oh, mine fell off the bottom here. Hang on. Okay, there. You want to put it on here. And then actually I think you're going to take the side of your brush and just put a little up in there. And there. Put a little up in here. In each of the corners here. Put a little blue,
So we're kind of completing the Kissing Booth boards.
Mm-hmm.
Or putting some on top. Like if you kind of messed up and it wasn't straight, you could make a more straight board.
And you can put a little blue on the corner here.
There.
And then I'm going to go across and you can put a little blue here. And maybe a little blue right over that there. Like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Deborah. You could mix a little of the yellow with the Kissing Booth to get a warmer color.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, you guys can change the colors however you want for this.
Down here I'm putting it there. And a little here. In fact, I might go sideways down here. There we go. And then I'm going to put some there. Okay.
And actually, if you paint over some that's wet, you'll bring your color through because DIY paint blends.
Right.
So
this is what I have right now. And yes, I think the red probably was more of a
Carnival?
well, not a carnival. I think it was
Marquee.
the other marquee. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Okay, yellow. Now we're going to go into our yellow. And this is where you have fun.
Clean your brush.
Well, actually, hang on a minute. Let me put a little more pink up here. I'm just going to put a little more pink right here.
Oh,
Coming down. You can have a little yellow on your brush. That's fine.
I don't have any yellow yet.
Oh, you don't? And I'm going to put a little more pink right here. Just to fill in those 2 spots, okay? All right, now let's go for the yellow. And the yellow, you're just going to basically put it wherever you want. Put it here. I'm going to put it up here. You can go right over your other colors with yellow. The yellow is cool.
Okay, time for yellow. We're using Liquid Sunshine, but of course if you have Queen Bee, you could use it.
Use it. You can put it on a little thick. I mean, you don't have to dilute this one. This is the one that's on top and you want it to have a lot of color in it. So just take and sketch where you want it. Pretty much any place you have spots that you haven't filled in already. And then you can go over some of these others and
Which
just
way
fill
are we
them
doing
in.
our brush? Down,
Yeah.
top down.
You can do it like a board. You can also do it where, if you want it like other places, you can do it on the side. This is where you get creative and decide what you want where. And then I think I'm going to take and mix the Kissing Booth with a little bit of the yellow. Get a little orange going here.
We're trying. I hope you're trying.
Okay, I'm mixing a little the red and the yellow to get an orange. And I'm just going to put a little bit of orange kind of wherever I want to. I'm going to put a little there. I'm going to put it on its side up here because I like the orange, I think. I'm going to put a little in here. So wherever you want the orange, just put it. You don't have to follow me at all. You can just do whatever you want. You can even go this way across the middle there and put the orange in. You could go this way a little bit there and put the orange in. This is entirely up to you. Okay, I have to go back and touch up some of my blue here. It really got messed up.
We're trying to make it look like boards, right? So you're making like little rectangles with your brush?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
You don't have to because you're going to make the rectangles when you put the lines over it. Yours is better than mine, I think, Christy.
I don't know about that.
Yep, I like it.
It's like your patchwork barn, guys. How are you doing? Hanging in there. If you're looking at this, you gotta try this. It's not that hard.
No, it's not hard.
I don't do this.
And you don't have to do these colors. You can do any colors you want. Now, I think, because it's just me, that I want to put a little more of the dark in here using the side of my brush from the bottom up to make the bottoms of these boards a little darker.
Which dark?
So I'm using the blue and I'm just going,
Hey Sailor.
yeah, Hey Sailor. And I'm just using the side of my brush and kind of making the bottoms of these boards a little darker. Because I kind of like that.
Do that, but I gotta finish this.
Yeah. I know, I'm getting ahead of some
You're
of you.
ahead of us. Hold on. Let us
Okay.
catch up. If you're painting a line.
I'm doing this so you can see. It'll also mix in with your yellow and make kind of a cool green if you took your yellow to the bottom. You're just using the side of your brush. Okay, now we need to add some black to our palette.
Okay, time for either little black dress or you could use black velvet. Ooh, I dripped, but I kind of like it.
But I'm going to add some black to my palette now because I didn't want to put it on earlier. I just thought it might get in the way. If a lot of you are learning how to paint, it's better to have the paint on as you need it. Now we're going to start working on the back part of these windows. You don't have to make it look like anything except a square or a line, okay? It's pretty simple, and I'll show you how that works. I would suggest that if you have a narrow brush, a small brush, like my liner, that you use that and black. So get your black out. So back here, I'm just going to put a line across. You might want to put a little bit of water on your brush, not much, because you don't want this to smear, but you also want the paint to go on easily, okay? And then I'm going to put a wider line across here. You want it to be, maybe that wide. And then here, let me make this a little deeper there. That's good. You can go right over the paint if you don't like the proportions that are there. Then on this side, I'm going to put a little black, just like that line. And in the middle, I'm going to put like a square, maybe 3 of these across, like that. Those are the boards in the back of the barn that are standing there in the dark, that are just silhouetted by the outline. I'm going to put one over here.
Let me just show them the sample. See the back of the barn here, guys? That's what we're doing.
I'm going to put one here. And then I'm going to make them jagged across the bottom here. Maybe one tall, one shorter. Another one a little bit in between. You want it to look like the board broke off. Okay? And then you're going to do another tall one here that kind of goes up all the whole back like that. Okay, now here you're going to paint across like this. So you're going to paint like a square there, a good size square, about maybe 1/2 to 2/3 of the space. Just a square. I need a little more water. My brush is not moving the paint around as well as it would. You know, normally if you're using DIY paint, you'd spray the piece to get a little water. Well, I can't do that because everything will run. So, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to make a little line here, like maybe there's something in the background. And then I'm just going to make a couple of jagged lines in the back that go right to the bottom. Now, here we're going to go on a diagonal from about the middle all the way up to a little over the middle on top. And we're going to draw a line next to that. These are boards.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to do one from the bottom to the middle of the board I just drew. You're doing really well. Okay, and then on this side, I'm going to draw like a wide line there. I gotta get some water.
I got bristles sticking all over my brush. They're not good brushes.
And then I'm just going to draw a line up there, and then I'm going to make it a little wider here, and a little wider here, maybe on an angle like that. And at the bottom, you can just go crazy. You can make anything you want. You're just going to make it look like there's junk in the back. Okay? So that's what I did. There's junk in the back there. I just put a lot of little lines. I tried to connect them though because they're in silhouette. So up here, and watch out, you might put your hand in the paint, so you have to be very careful. I'm going to put a little, I'm going to suggest a little shadow there.
Which brush?
The thin one.
The same one?
Yep.
A little tiny one? Are we
Yep.
using black?
Yep, black, and you're just suggesting a shadow there under, so you're going to the right of that line, and you're following it all the way up. See, all the way up. That's going to give you a shadow. Boom. And then this side, you're going to stay on the inside, and you're just going to do the other side of it. It's basically that thing is sticking out, and the front of the barn is sticking out, and it has a shadow under it, okay? You can sketch it. It doesn't have to be real perfect. And then we're going to do just under this guy here. And you can make it kind of sketchy. You see how I broke up on that one? If you break up a little bit so that it's like not real perfect line, that's fine. In the middle.
Make sure you guys got enough water or you can't do this.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright.
So you're going to go under the line on top. Under each of these lines is what you're going to basically do. You're going to make them stand out a little. I've got it under this one, and under this one. Because what you want to do now is you want to set them out, see a little bit of shadow. You're trying to make things appear more realistic. But you're going to take it and you're going to make little, and they can be broken lines, but they're going to be straight-ish. They don't have to be. And try to load your brush and go all the way through.
Do we need water or no water?
A little water probably would help. So what I'm doing is I'm making the boards now. See the boards there? That's what I'm making. I'm creating boards. And I like them when they're not real obvious like that. So don't make them perfect all the way across. Make them kind of, I don't know, imperfect.
I got the imperfect covered.
And the thinner the line that you do with black, kind of the better. If it's interrupted, it's fine. Here. They can be intermittent, like that. I did the middle section. I skipped the top by mistake. So if you have to put it on your lap, add a little water, and then just, you kind of sketch the lines. You sort of like this. You kind of, here, I'll show you up here. I'm better at holding things because that's what I do with China painting. See, you just sketch like that. Can you see that? I'm just sketching. Maybe need another one there. And then I'll hold this one up a little closer so you can see I'm just, oops, need a little water. I dip it on my towel, and then I come back and I'm putting these lines in like that. Okay? So you may have to turn your canvas. It might be easier to turn your canvas than to try to draw them, but you don't want those lines to be as real predominant. You want them to be kind of, okay, that's where the
Suggestions.
I'm doing the bottom now just to get it done for you so you can see it. If you get a really thick one, you can always go back with the color that's next to it. You know, like here I've got a thick one. I'm just going to put the color over it like that. And just pull it down and that'll make it thinner. So if you get a really thick line, and like up there I have one, you can just take the, oh, geez. But you got to have thick color, not thinned out color. And just put it over it like that. You can even partially hide the line, it's fine. And I can do it here. And then maybe down here. Okay. So now's your chance. If you want to add color anywhere else, like if you want to add a little blue up in here, and maybe you want to do a little blue over here, you know, you can do that. Anywhere you think it needs a little more color, you can do that now. If you would prefer to have some yellow up in here, or maybe some blue in here, you can do that. Basically, you're done with your barn except for the white. So put all the colors on now that you want, and the final color I'm going to use on this is white. And the reason I'm using, oh, no white.
Right here.
Oh, couldn't see it.
White swan, beadboard, vintage linen, tarnished pearl, any of
You
these
can
work?
see on here, I put white here, I put white here, I put a little white there, a little white there. The reason I'm doing white is to show kind of where the highlight is. You need some contrast or this doesn't look like much. So right now it looks pretty flat. You'll see when we put the white on it, it's going to bring out that, that color. Now I'm taking my white. This is the final step to the barn. And I'm just going to put it maybe here, a little here. You're sketching with it. Coming down here. Doesn't have to be crisp. It can be crooked. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's the whole idea is just to give you a feel here. Maybe a little there, a little here, maybe a little here, maybe a little over in here. You can, on the stuff that's in here, you can just put some dots. So see what I've done? I put it on here. I think I'm going to come down here and put it here too. Hang on. Okay, I need a little more white here. Okay, so I put the white here, here, put white on the top here. I put it a little here just to define it. You can even put white in the siding if you want it in the siding because you think it'll perk it up a little. See, like this, you can do that. You can take your white and you can go across this middle section too, here. Sketch, don't paint. Just kind of pretend you've got a brush, you've got a pencil and you're just sketching across, see? Here, I'm sketching across. And I'm just going to sketch over here a little bit. Okay, and then I'm just putting a little down in here maybe. You can put the white wherever you think you need it. This is giving you that kind of artsy look, okay?
Yeah, let's be artsy.
Yep. You'll notice as you put the light on that it kind of sparks the whole thing, makes it seem more alive. So don't overdo it. It's just to have a little, I'm going to come down here now and do this. And if your brush gives you this texture, see the texture I have right there and there? That's fine. That's fine. That's kind of what you're going for.
Your barn is almost done. Now it's time to kind of fill in and add color wherever you need it. We filmed the second part of this on another day, and we got a brush upgrade. I was very lucky to get these delivered to me. These are the Paint Pixie Turquoise Iris Magic Pack brushes. They really made a difference. They're also available on my website. If you're interested, shoptheturnedleg.com.
So we're just gonna sketch across the bottom here.
There we go.
You want a horizon, that's all you're gonna do.
Do we have water in our brush or no?
Yes.
Okay.
And you're just gonna sketch a horizon in there. And you might decide you want a little hill here, which I had, so, oops, I need a little more black. So I kind of put a little bit there, and maybe a little bit here, just so I have some kind of idea of what my ground is doing. Now I've got my yellow. I cleaned my brush, I put a little water on it, and I've got my yellow. And I'm going to do like the little kind of grass, but I'm doing it in yellow so that it has more of a punch to it. So I'm doing a little here in front. And oops, I need a little more water. If it's coming out clunky, you need a little more water. And I'm just gonna pull from the bottom up. And that's gonna give you that grass effect.
So we're using liquid sunshine to make your yellow bushes.
Yep, and you can go into the green and you can do the same thing right there.
And same brush?
The thin brush, yes.
This is called the Tipsy, by the way, from the Turquoise Iris.
And that's how you make grass. Now, so you can see it a little better, let me come over here. Oops, here. I'm gonna pull it up here and do it so you can see a little better. Okay, I'm gonna pull from the bottom up like this. That's how I make grass, okay? And you're just gonna kind of go all the way along that line you made there to get some of the grass in. And you're gonna put some in front of the barn. It won't show up real well, but then you're going to take some yellow. You just keep dipping between the yellow and the green, and you're going to get a real nice, here I'm putting a little like fake flowers on the top. Just little dabs of yellow on top of that grass. Okay, you're going to also want to put a little yellow in front of the area here, in front of the barn, because this is a old barn. It's not there anymore. Let's start on the sky now. Let's go up to the sky. You're going to want water, and you're going to want to pull the water into your white, and you really want this milky. You really want it super, super milky. You want it so that you can just, and we're going to do, think of it as making sea strokes in the sky. We're going to take, and you're going to start taking and putting sea strokes in the sky.
It's like a wash, or it's straight paint?
You need water with it. It needs to be kind of like applying milk to the sky.
Okay.
And after you do a couple of sea strokes, you can straighten them out like this. And you're just sort of blending it in. You may need to get a little water on your brush, and if that helps, and just pull some of that into the background. If you're doing this with watercolor, it's going to be a little harder because watercolor you have to leave the white, but that's how I do my sky on that side. And then, same thing on the other side. I'm going to take my white, water it way down, and I'm just going to do either like you can do a fluffy cloud where you just do like this and it's like circles.
Okay, I got it.
And then you could do a little bit of straight lines, because sometimes those fluffy clouds get straight lines. What I like to do is, after I put my cloud up there, I like to just put water on my brush and pull it sideways, and that kind of smears it out and makes it look wispy, like the wind got to it. You can do it on the other side as well. Then we're going to come down and suggest trees. So don't worry, you don't have to know how to do all the leaves and everything. I'm just using the big square brush, the assistant. So you're going to do kind of the same idea with the trees now. We want them to be wispy. So you're going to use your your Salty Kiss, and you're going to use a lot of water with it. And you're going to start and make swirling motions. That's just indicating the trees. Just little swirling motions. Don't go over your barn. You can bring it all the way down behind the grass you did here. There, can you see what I'm doing? I'm just doing swirling motions. That's to indicate the trees. And I want to kind of get down behind here a little bit. There we go. And on the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. Now, if you're painting a painting like this and you have sides on it, you need to carry that green over to the sides so that it completes the painting all the way around. So that the painting wraps. Because people may not frame this if they hang it on their wall, and you want to make sure that it looks complete to them, okay? Now we're going to do the same thing on the left side. We're going to just go up, and we're going to do it like this. It doesn't have to go up to the sky. You know, it's like these are trees in the background. And I'm going to bring this all the way down to the ground too. That way you know there are trees there. And then I have to come over to the side and I have to paint down the side so that I'm just doing circles down the side. Just so that color carries over, okay? Alrighty. So those are basically your trees. I need a little more green here. There. Okay. Now I'm going to suggest the trunks of the trees by taking the liner. That's this. I'm going to dip it in my brown. That's what I mean. You don't need much brown for this.
That's layered chocolate.
Layered chocolate. Okay, and we're just going to do a couple of lines. This is going to be really hard for Christy because they're not, see how they are in there?
Lines.
And on this side, they're just suggested. They're intermittent, so you don't take them all the way up. I'll show you what I mean. You kind of skip as you go. You go a little here, and try to, as you go up, if you're going to, now you don't have to go very high, but if you do go high, branch either to the right or to the left because that's the way trees grow. So like maybe this and this. And here I'm just going to do it here and maybe up there, there. Just to suggest trees. The focus of this is the barn. It is not the trees. It is not the background. See what I did? I just pulled some of that over just to make it not more intermittent as far as the trunks go. So that's pretty much what all you're going to do there. Then you can take your big brush, put it in your yellow, mix a little green with your yellow. You want a yellowy green, not a greeny yellow, a yellowy green. And you're going to just do a little of these back here, like this. So I just touched back there and pulled across as I touched. Same thing on this side. I'm just going to touch a little. Those are your lower shrubs. I'm just pulling them in there. I'm suggesting them because, like I said before, the real focus of this is the barn. And then I'm putting a little water over them because they're a little bit bright. I'm going to also take the yellow and start defining the foreground here, okay? This is my brush. I'm using the brush this way to get, let me show you what I'm going for. I'm going for this look down here. And so all you do is you take your brush, you put it on the canvas and you go this way. And then down here you're going to go this way. You're just giving yourself some color in the foreground. And I'm going to put a little on this side here. I might put a little more up in here. Okay, you're going sideways. That gives you some interest in the foreground there. And then I'm going to go into my green, make it kind of filmy like I did up in here. I don't have quite enough green up in here. I'm going to put a little more green up in there. A little more up in here. As it dries, you'll decide whether you need a little more green or not. And then down here, you're going to put the green in the same way we put in the yellow. Okay? So we're going to do this. But don't make it solid. Skip like this. See how I skipped there? So you're going to use the side of your brush and you're just going to skip along. If you go over the yellow, nobody cares. If you don't go over the yellow, nobody cares. And you're just going to do it to the bottom. You're going to skip the whole way down, all the way to the bottom, like this. And then you're going to put some water on it, and you can pull across it with water, and that'll give you your feeling of ground there. Just take some water and pull across. And you'll get a feeling of ground, but you'll also have that texture in there. Now I'm going to switch to this little wedge brush.
What's the name of that one?
It's called Little Edge.
There we go.
And back in the back of the barn, let me show you here. There's a little bit of green that you can see. It's easy to do. You're just going to pull it from the bottom up, like this. And do it quickly so it doesn't mess up what you've already got there. Just a little green. So now I'm going to take the yellow. And over here I'm going to define this a little. I want it to be kind of higher to imitate what I have there already. So I'm just going to go in and make that a little higher. And then back here, I want to make this more like grass. So I'm going to just go up and down. Just tap the wedge brush. That'll give me a little bit of that up and down that I've got there. And then I'm going to get in my black a little bit with a lot of water because I just want this to be suggested. And let me bring it up so you can see what I did. I just took and put some of that dark in there so we have it. And then finally, I'm just going to take my liner with the green. I'm not going to really dilute the green now, and I'm going to go back and add that little bit of grass back in wherever I want it. This is where you can start being creative. If you want a little grass down here, a little grass over here. So now we're painting the foreground and the background, yeah. And now we're just going to put some color behind some of this or in some of this. You can do whatever you want at this point to enhance your foreground and your background. You want to put some little flowers in because you like flowers, you can do that. You can make this darker back in here if you like that. You know, you could, whatever you want to do.
And don't forget the sides of your painting too. Make sure your painting is wrapping around while you're working.
Okay, so I've carried the color over on both sides here. That's important. And I will carry the green down to the bottom, but I'm holding it right now. I want to have a few places I can hold it. I'm pretty comfortable with this. I think it's pretty much done. I don't like this in here too much. I might just put a little green over it or something, or smear it. I might even get a little old 57 going there and just, you know, redo that with that old 57.
All right, we're going to
So this is what we started with. Let's show you what we started with. This is the one I did when I didn't have to hold it up.
This is her beginning piece painted by my mom. That's how we started. And then these are what we came up with. And everyone's going to have their own style, okay?
Right.
And as you do yours, you're going to find something that works better for you. That's fine.
Right.
But hopefully it's inspired you to now maybe continue, if you're a crazy canvas artist anyways, continue what you're doing. Maybe you've never tried a barn before. If you're like me and like you never paint canvas, maybe you're like, hey, I think I got this. So anyways, thanks so much for joining us. And share this out if you have people that you think might want to see how to paint a barn. So thanks so much, and thanks to my mom for doing this. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you want to see more tutorials with Mom, please comment down below, and hopefully we can make this more of a thing. Don't forget, your painting will need to be sealed if you're using DIY paint. There's a couple options that I would recommend. Of course, you can grab a can of spray sealer, but make sure before you do any sealing that your paint has dried for 24 hours. You can spray seal it, but if you have some of these products, you might want to also use them. I recommend using DIY Big Top to give you a little bit of shine to your painting. Just brush it on with big strokes, or if you want a matte finish, you can use Sweet Pickins Top Coat the same way. Just don't forget, make sure your painting is completely dried before you seal it. One coat of sealer should be fine. Thanks again for watching. Let's take a look at how the barn pictures turned out.